Hey artists, Mr. Reinhard here, kicking off your ABC countdown with the first letter of the alphabet, A, my personal favorite letter for obvious reasons. A begins the word art and also the word animals, which I love. In fact, all year long, we have been making lots of different types of art of lots of different types of animals. We've done polar bears, we've drawn foxes, we've done a lot of different types of birds, and I even showed you how to make dinosaurs. But I'm always on the lookout for a cool new way to draw different types of animals, and I think I found one that you'll really like. In fact, this big cat has such cool spots, such cool markings, that people have actually taken that design and began to put it onto different types of fashion. So, if you were wondering what my cool bracelet is, don't worry, I'm going to show you how to do that. We're going to be drawing a snow leopard, and then I'm going to be showing you how to draw some leopard spots and make a bracelet that you can attach without even using any tape. All right, let's go ahead and get started. Okay, so the first thing that we're gonna do is draw a snow leopard, but this isn't the way that we normally draw animals. Usually, we begin by drawing the outline of an animal and then filling it in with different types of detail and usually coloring it. But because this is a snow leopard, most of the fur is white, and all you can see are the different black dots, as well as the eye and the nose. There's a few colors in here, but for the most part, the design is black and white. And so this is a great opportunity for us to learn something called positive and negative space. Now, usually positive is something good and negative is something bad, but in art, it means something completely different. So the positive space is the area that we draw and the area that we color in, and the negative space is all the white area around it. Okay, so the positive is the space that we draw and color in, these black dots, the eyes, the nose, and the negative space is the white area around it. What I really like about this design is that we can tell that it is a leopard, or maybe just it looks like a big cat, without having the outline of the cat. By just drawing the eye and the nose and the spots, we can still tell, our brain still tells us that this is a leopard. So I'm going to flip the page over, and we are going to begin by drawing our very own leopard. It's another page of animal designs. I told you I love to draw animals. All right, so all you need is a blank piece of paper and a pencil for right now. I will be showing you how to add spots using your fingerprint and a Crayola marker or a washable marker. It should be washable. But we can also just draw them by hand if you don't have a marker available. And then when it comes time to color the eyes and the nose and the mouth, crayons, colored pencils, or markers will work. But again, we can just do this in black and white using pencil. Okay, the very first thing that I want you to do, we're going to be filling the entire page, and I want you to draw a leaf shape or an almond shape. Basically, it's going to be two arcs that are connected on the sides. I want you to do it sort of in the middle of the page, maybe a little bit near the top left corner. Okay? So here's the corner of the eye. I'm going to go up and down. Notice that it's a little uneven. This is a smoother slope, and then it slopes down a little more quickly. And then we sort of reverse it, like there's a line of symmetry, and it reflects over this line of symmetry. If the pencil were a line right here, I would just flip this, okay? So I'm going to go from this corner down and up. Notice this is what I was talking about when I said we need to draw a leaf shape. See how this almost looks like the stem of the leaf? Okay? But instead of drawing the inside of what would be a leaf, I'm going to make a little triangle shape back here. Then I'm going to draw another one right next to it. This is going to be drawn black. This one I'm actually going to shade in blue a little bit later. I'm going to leave a little bit of space, and then I'm going to draw what begins to look like a circle, but it's not a full circle. In fact, I'm going to leave a little bit of space between the edge of the shape that I'm drawing and the edge of the leaf shape that I just drew. Bring this up and around like this, and you can start to see that we're going to begin to put our cat eye right here, okay? The highlight, we've talked a lot about highlights. The highlight is going to be kind of a T shape. So what I want you to do is draw that modified T shape, and then connected to that T shape is going to be the pupil, the cat pupil. I'm going to shade that in black so that we don't start to get confused. Remember, the highlight stays white, the pupil is always dark black. And then I'm going to begin to shade in that area that I left around the iris, around what will be the colorful part of the eye. This is already looking so cool. And all I've done is shade black, white, and gray. If you want, you can go ahead and just put a few very delicate pencil lines. For humans, this would be eyelashes, but for the leopard, it will be fur. Cool. And then a little ways away, not very far, just about the width of the pencil, I want you to make a shape that almost looks like a seal or a giraffe or a llama. A little teeny tiny, trying to kiss the corner of this eye. Draw very lightly, please. Go down, over, up, over, and then draw the neck of your animal right here. This actually isn't an animal. It's basically just going to be a little bit of shading that's along the side of the nose of the leopard. If you have a light color like a peach, a tan, go ahead, color that in for me. If you do not have any colored pencils or crayons or markers, and markers might even be a little too dark for this, just go ahead and shade it in gray. Okay, now a little bit further down, we're going to draw the nose. So what I want you to do is, I want you to draw a swoop down, over, down, come to a point. Then I want you to do it again. Down, over, down. Go ahead, color that in black for me. Remember, don't commit to it. Don't color it in unless you are happy with it. You can always erase and then change the shape if you need to. I'm going to draw something that looks a little bit like a shark's tooth here. And this one I'm not going to color. And this one I'm going to make a little more pink and maybe a little bit of blue. But I'm going to go down this curve just a little bit. I'm going to go over to a point and then down and connect them. Usually I don't color as I go along, but I want to make sure that we're just sort of keeping things straight and not getting confused about what we're drawing. And it starts to make the cat, with very few lines, it starts to make this leopard actually look realistic. Remember, we're drawing just the positive and negative space. We are not drawing all the guidelines that we normally draw when we're making animals. I'm already really liking how this looks. And if you do not have colored pencils, remember, don't stress about it. You can just shade with gray. But while I'm at it, I'm going to go ahead and color in this eye because cat eyes sometimes have a little bit of a yellow tint to them. So I'm going to go ahead and do that. Yellow, and then just add a little bit of blue back here, just around the rim of the pupil. Making it a little bit darker near the corner of the eye right here. All right, now it's time for me to start adding some spots. Okay, this is where we are going to be drawing some spots that form the contour, the shape of the snout, of the cat's snout. So what I want you to do is down here, put a few spots, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, and they get a little bit bigger. This is where the cat's whiskers would come out, okay? Now we're gonna start drawing a couple shapes that I think look a little bit like mustaches, which is funny because it's on the cat's nose. Obviously the cat does not have a mustache, but this shape is a little bit like a mustache or like an M or a mountain range. Watch this, you ready? I'm gonna start over here and I'm gonna go like that. And then I'm gonna go like this. I sort of double the shape. Because I'm coloring these in black, most of the lines that I do, I double up. I draw twice. Okay, so let me do another one larger and underneath it. Same shape though, look, kind of like a mustache. This one really looks like a mustache to me, but it would be on the side of the cat's face. So it's just helpful for me sometimes when I'm drawing to say, what does this shape look like? Does it look like a snake? Does it look like a mustache? Does it look like a llama or a seal? Really, it's just silly things, but in my brain, it makes it easier for me to draw. So I'm gonna do one more down below, and this one's a little bit more of just a U, a little bit of an irregular shape here. I think I just broke my pencil. I'm gonna try to rock with that anyway. Okay, cool. So notice that as I'm drawing them, I'm coloring them in, and see how this starts to form the snout of the cat. Now I'm gonna do a couple more sort of triangular shapes here. Try not to keep your shapes very geometric. I don't wanna see perfect circles or perfect spheres or rectangles or squares because this is a living animal. And for the most part, animals have these organic marks to them, okay? They don't have super regular marks, and especially not the leopard. Okay, remember these little spots are called rosettes, which means like little rows. And so you're noticing that I'm just doing little dots, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, sort of up and down the snout. And I'm gonna add one more little detail with my, I guess I can use that color. Pressing lightly, this is sort of the outside edge of the cat's nose, okay? Now I'm gonna switch gears. I'm gonna come over here and I'm gonna do a shape that would be sort of the eyebrow along the ridge of the nose, the upper ridge of the nose for the cat, for the leopard, and one big one right here. Sometimes I like to play the game while I'm drawing these spots of what does this shape look like, sort of like when I'm outside looking at the clouds. Now what I'm gonna do up here above the cat's eye is I'm gonna be drawing these shapes, but I'm gonna give you the option if you want to go back through, rather than drawing these 10 shapes, there's gonna be 10 dots that I draw here, but rather than drawing all of them, if you want, you can take a black marker, a washable marker, or a washable pen. Do not use a Sharpie, do not use anything permanent that will soak into your skin and be hard to wash off. Sometimes you might have washable paint or a stamp pad. You can use any of those. And what I want you to do is take the pinky finger of whatever hand you don't draw with, okay? And I want you to just color right on the top part of your finger. And rather than drawing these, or even if you do outline them, go ahead and you can use your finger, the tip and the side, to make sort of long marks to personalize your leopard. Now see, you've made leopard spots with your fingerprint, and I think that's pretty cool. Now I know what you're thinking, artists. You're thinking, Reinhard, leopards are so cool. I had no idea, and I've seen people wearing leopard print shirts and shoes and bracelets and headbands, and I also want to wear a leopard print bracelet, but all the stores are closed, right? I can't go shopping. Have no fear. I'm about to show you how to make a bracelet that you can wear and style around the house in your neighborhood, except I can't hook it on my own with one hand. So, check it out. You're going to cut a piece of paper from top to bottom long ways until it's just a couple inches wide, but it's the full length of the paper. Okay, so it's just a couple inches wide, about as long as your finger, about as wide as your finger rather, and the whole long ways, because this is what's gonna go around your wrist like that. Cool? All right, so the next step is you are going to be drawing with your medium color. This is sort of what we did with our pinky when we were making the prints. You're gonna be drawing little ovals, okay? Spaced pretty evenly apart and tilting all sorts of different directions, okay? I'm gonna do, let's say, 12. I'll do 12 of these ovals, and if I need to add more, I can. But we need to leave some room for the rose markings, for the black sort of organic shapes that go around this medium color. So far I have 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12. That's perfect. I love how they're spaced apart. I colored pretty dark with crayon and colored pencil. I'm pushing about medium, about 50% of how hard I can push with these. With marker, you really don't have a ton of choice. It's probably gonna be just about as dark as your marker goes. Now I'm gonna take my tan color, or if you're using different colors than me, use your lightest color, and I'm going to color in one direction. So I'm doing diagonal because it's the way that my hand naturally travels. Back and forth, all the way to the edge of my bracelet. Okay. So this is filling in that negative space that we talked about. This is filling in the white space with my lightest color. In this case, it's tan, but you might be using pink or yellow, light green, light blue. All right. Right now, this is not looking like leopard print. This is looking more like a cheetah, so I need to locate my black pencil, which I've already misplaced. Here we go. And I'm going to start making some shapes, and none of them are going to repeat. They're all irregular, but they all kind of look like things or remind me of things that I've seen or drawn before. So let me start at the top, and I'm just going to work my way down, and I'm basically going to be surrounding each of these brown spots with their own different type of shape. Sometimes it'll look like a little cashew or like a peanut. Like in this case, it'll look like a block letter or a bubble letter C, and then the backwards same shape. This one is going to look a little bit more like a peanut or a figure 8, a letter B. Sometimes the shapes are the same size. These black shapes are the same size, and sometimes one shape is bigger and one shape is smaller. As I work my way down, I want to make sure I'm filling in some of this space with some dots, okay? In fact, if I want to, if I feel like there's a big empty space, I can make a little tiny mini dot. Sometimes I like to imagine that these dots have little hairdos, right? That these are some characters, like the brown circles are faces, and that the black markings are fancy hairdos. So for example, on this next one, I'm gonna pretend like this is some long black hair right here going around the face, coming together, like that's the part here, and I'm gonna fill it in. Doesn't that kind of look like a face? And this is some black hair around it. This one might be some very swooshy windblown hair, like somebody who just stepped out of a car and the wind picked up. Sometimes they look like a slide. Sometimes they come to a point. You can see I'm not stressing about the shape too much. I'm just making sure that I'm leaving some areas uncovered. Sometimes I can go all the way around. This one almost looked like Pac-Man, who just ate the entire brown blob there. Here I'm going to do 1, 2, and then a big third one. You can do teardrop shapes, raindrop shapes, rainbow shapes. I've forgotten. I need to add a few dots right here. Cool. So what's neat about leopards is that they're actually nocturnal. So they come out at night, and then during the day they sort of chill in trees, they sleep in trees, which is also where they take their prey. They hunt lots of different things. And really, just about any sort of prey that's around, they will hunt and eat in order to survive. They live in Asia, they live in India and Africa, and they are very, very fast. They can also jump really far too. If you laid 3 of your teachers end to end, they could jump from one teacher's foot all the way over to another teacher's head. So they are pretty cool cats. And they have, in my opinion, some of the coolest markings in all of the animal kingdom. So we are just about done with our cheetah print. And it's kind of fun seeing how many different ways you can design, oh, I said cheetah print, I meant leopard print. How many different ways you can design your prints. Now, when you have it looking the way that you want it to look, what we're going to do in order to fit it around our wrist is, your hands are a little bit smaller than mine, so you should be able to slide it on your wrist a little bit easier than mine. If you have a piece of tape, all you need to do is you can tape it on the outside or the inside. But if you don't have a piece of tape, but you do have scissors, in fact, technically you could probably rip it. What I want you to do is I want you to overlap the 2 ends, and we're gonna make 4 cuts, okay? I don't want you to cut all the way to the middle. I just want you to cut a little ways down. Right where the one edge stops, I want you to cut here, go in a little ways, here, go in the same distance, here, and then make one more cut where this piece of paper ends, here. So now I have 4 cuts. 1, 2, 3, 4. I'm going to take this middle section, both pieces of paper together, and fold it up. I'm going to take this section and fold it down, both pieces of paper. I'm going to take this section and fold it down, okay? You can already tell this is starting to lock the bracelet. So I'm gonna show you that one more time. I'm gonna fold this first section down, this last section down, and this middle section up. Now to really make it sturdy, I'm gonna do the same thing on the other side. Do not go all the way to the middle, okay? Just go down a little ways. Cut 2, cut 3, and cut 4. Fold that middle section up, make sure you've got both pieces of paper. Fold that first section down, and fold that last section down. Now, if I pull on that, it's pretty sturdy. In fact, okay, artists, that's all for today. Thank you for drawing animal art with me, and I hope you enjoy the rest of your ABC countdown. See you soon.